What's going on, guys? It's Luke here of SimBoxx. Delighted this afternoon to be joined by Kieran Gething. Kieran, how are we doing?
Grand man.
Good man. So yeah, we got a few things to talk about today, but we might as well as we sit here on the 21st of March. Grab the bull by the horns. We've just been on the back of an explosive interview on Talksport between Simon Jordan and Eddie Hearn. I don't think I've ever seen a social media interview. I know I do my channel, these other channels out there, but I don't ever think I've seen an interview between two guys that aren't boxers be so hyped and so highly anticipated, Kieran. Do you enjoy it?
Yeah, man, it felt like a fight. I was so excited for it, and I haven't been listening to Talksport for a couple of weeks, because Liverpool haven't been doing very well, so but I just fobbed it off. But as soon as I heard that Eddie was going on there for like a full hour and they were doing a head to head, I was like, I have to watch it, set my alarm and everything.
That's it. I mean, did you see the tweet this morning from Eddie Hearn? I nibbled on it myself. I think he put on something like,
Yeah, yeah,
I'm not going to make it. And even that was getting traction. And I think at one point, it was like 19,000 people waiting just before 11 o'clock for the start of it. It was nuts.
mad, mate, mad. But it's what he does fucking best, don't it? Eddie Hearn is the man when it comes to promoting shit.
That's it. Well, Kieran, what's your take on this Conor Benn situation? You know, and obviously we're not going to go too far into it because it's been a long and well trodden road. But just while we're on that conversation, who did you kind of side with in that argument? Are you Team Jordan or are you Team Eddie?
So I'm gonna sound like I'm on the fence, but on the matter, I'm not on the fence at all. I've made it clear on social media. I think he's guilty. I think he's been cycling or whatever. I think he's corrupt as fuck. And I was really looking forward to for Simon Jordan getting stuck into Eddie as well. You know, because I appreciate Simon Jordan a lot. But I've got to side with Eddie on a couple of things and how difficult his situation was and how contractually some misgivings might be made about the state of the contract, how he had to wait so long for the board to make a decision. I'm fully aware of how these things happen, and it might seem unreal to other people or people who aren't involved with boxing, but that is the fucking game. It is just, it's bureaucracy as people want to stick their oar in, and at the end of the day, it's money. If imagine neither of them were allowed to fight again, and then it turned out he was innocent, and you ruined someone's career, you ruined their money, income. I don't think he's innocent, but at the same time, you you're in a difficult position either way you went, and it's not like he did anything particularly wrong, aside from the fact he withheld it from Eubank, which seems clear from the interview. But otherwise, I think he did things pretty strict procedure.
Now, is this Kieran Gething, soon to be boxing promoter, siding with a fellow promoter in Eddie Hearn? Is that what we're seeing here? The promoters sticking together?
Could well be, could well be. He's a bit more of a bigger fish than me, but yeah, it's I understand his position.
Yeah, like we say, we'll see how that plays out. Like I say, I don't want to go down that road too much. But let's move on to the topics that I did want to discuss. April 6th, Kieran Gething promotion, Shadow Box. It's a great occasion. You're going to be taking on Sion Yaxley, which I think is a great fight. I think it's a fight that many people were surprised about how similar it was when I seen it on Twitter. Kieran, take us from the beginning, really, this whole journey into shadow boxing, into promoting and that side of things, and also the fight. You know, we'll try and break it down as we go along, but take us back to the beginning where this whole idea started.
So after my second daughter was born, I boxed 2 days later in Llandarcy, and I was a little bit closer to the promotion stuff because I managed to get a bit of sponsorship for the promotion, and I helped them out that way. And I was looking at starting my production company. We're getting some cameras on the show and stuff, and it didn't work out. But at that time, Mo Pryor had some of my fans go up to him and say, "Why don't you get a show going in Abergavenny?" Because they'd been pro boxing there before and not any boxing for a very long time. And obviously, I'm a fairly well known person around that area. And yeah, he said he had sort of approached me at one point and said, "Yeah, I'd love to do a show with you at some point." And from there, it's been almost in the works. Talked about, did look at the financials of things, and yeah, he's it might seem like it was thrown together a little bit last minute with some of the fighters and some of the things we were trying to get on, but I've had the template and the bread. It's just been a while coming to find the right opportunity, and I've got another baby due, my fourth child due in August time, so that added a little bit of pressure on me. I had other things going on in my life, bits of stress, and coming out of about depression and stuff, and it felt like a really good time for me to throw myself back into the boxing, and it's turned out really well. I've been sparring some good boys. I've been performing well in the gym, feeling good. Um, and yeah, I wanted it to happen on that date. I'm 29 2 days after, so it's a nice thing for me to sort of a nice marker for me to celebrate a lot of things that weekend.
Absolutely. Firstly, congratulations on the news of another baby, and also congratulations, Karen, for being open and mentioning about coming out of depression. I think in the modern world, I think it's a really prominent and big thing for you to mention. And yeah, congrats on that, and moving forward, we wish you the best with that. Yeah, take us through this hunt, if you like, that you went on for an opponent. Was you struggling? Did you have someone tied down and you fell out? Take us through that process.
Yeah, we had a Celtic title sanctioned back last year between me and Mano Lee on Black Flash promotion. That didn't happen because he had some sort of family bereavement, I believe. Never left my wanting though, and I believe it was October I might have boxed last. I'm not quite sure. It might have been March actually. I boxed last, and we wanted the Mano Lee fight again. He's we've back and forth on the socials, different things have happened, and I announced the show, wanted to follow up on the opponent. Yep, let's get his title fight on, let's get it going. And he actually made an appointment for a hair transplant. So he had to get that procedure done, was put him out for a couple of months. So that's knocked me back at the very start of it, within a week of announcing the show. And then we've had different things we wanted to get the venue, make sure he was sanctioned by the board, because there was professional boxing there 50 years plus ago, but hadn't been for a long time. And like I say, sometimes the board have want to do things in their own procedure, so we've had to wait for that to get passed up. And then I've gone on the hunt for an opponent as well, and took as many lengths as I could to get in touch with Sam Kinnock, Lee Eaton, Andy over in Ireland. There's a bunch of good names we tried to get Celtic opponents for. I wanted to aim for the Celtic title. Then we were looking at English opponents, try and get international title sanctions, things like that. We had yes from the WBC, or the fantastic board and the one I want to work with going forward, but their titles and the weight that I'm looking to compete in are tied up. We made some offers today, guys. The timing wasn't right, so yeah, we was on a bit of a wild goose chase for an opponent, and it looked like we'd be stuck with a tough guy coming over and probably going to lose. To we made an offer to Kieran Farrell. Really happy with it. Well, not really happy with it. We improved the offer a bit, and then he was happy with it. He's looking after his fighter like any good manager would. And Sean took the fight. Was it 3.5 weeks notice? Very professional. Really over the moon with them guys. And now we're just hoping that everything goes to plan and we get a really good night of boxing there. But yeah, down to Sean and Kieran. So happy with the way they treated it as an opportunity, and seeing me as an opportunity as well, I suppose. But it's going to be a real tough fight for them coming up against me on my own show and in my hometown, and for something that I've been sanctioned for before. And he's not had a real competitive bout yet, I wouldn't say. But he's been competitive in the past, and he's won 2 national titles when I turned pro in the same weight category. We've done a few rounds in squad sessions before. He's won international medals. I think it's a perfectly even match contest, and hopefully we get the right push behind it from everyone else as well.
Absolutely. I think on paper it does look a great fight. Do you believe that although you've had a similar amount of professional fights, that you've been in a higher level, you've gained more big fight experience maybe than Sion Yaxley? Do you think that's something that could tell on fight night?
Oh, yes. It's night and day, innit? he's training up there with people in the Gallagher gym. Scott Quigg, who's an acquaintance of mine, is a great guy to have in and around the gym, and just chatting to him in different situations that I've been in with him. You're going to gain experience from things like that. Joe Gallagher, he's a big name. It's actually a clash of big name coaches with Tony Borg in my corner and Gallagher in his. It's got all the makings of a great fight, and we want to try and get as many eyes on it as we can.
That's it. So what kind of weight are we looking at here, Kieran? I know obviously a few years back you was down at super lightweight. I'm sure you've put on a few pounds since then. So what are we looking at in terms of weight class?
Yeah, light middle, 154. That's 100% what we're going for. I am gonna likely work my way back down to welterweight, but there's a couple of other opportunities around light middle I'm looking at for the future too.
Well, so with the super lightweight days are long gone, a thing of the past.
Yes, mate. To be honest with you, I couldn't believe I ever made it. It was a career 69 as an amateur, and getting down to 66 as a welter was amazing for me at the time. I think it was just the vegan diet and the fact that I got beat for the national title that pissed me off enough to lose the weight the first time.
Well, so of course, looking at Welsh boxing as a whole, Kieran, I think it's a really exciting time for Welsh boxing, Welsh boxers. You've got like Joe Cordina leading the way with his world title fight coming up. Gavin Gwynn and Craig Woodruff running it back. That was a great fight, and I'm sure it'll be a great fight second time around. Jerome Warburton, yourself, Sion Yaxley, other names that I might have missed off. I guess it's a real proud time as a Welshman to be a part of this, both as a fighter and now as a promoter.
Massive. I can't wait to get my hands stuck into it. And what I hope is that the other fighters around believe and can trust me as well, because that's the feedback I'm getting at the minute. There's people up in the Midlands, River Wilson, who I've got who I boxed in the amateurs, and we've had a couple of conversations. I'd love to get him on some of the shows. There's boxers like Jake Anthony, Welsh title challenger. Who else we got? Jerome. I've spoken to Jerome. I wanna work with him. Get all these guys good fights, big fights that are gonna push them on, and I get to sit ringside for it and hopefully help them along. And like I said, big thing is someone they can trust. I've got no interest in fucking any boxer over, because for me, we're promoters already. You're promoters from the start. All it is if you've got enough brains or enough experience, maybe not even brains, enough. I met intelligent fighters that don't want to do it, but enough experience or that yearning to go on and promote everyone else as well. But there's no difference between me having to sell my tickets to cover the opponent to me having to sell my tickets to cover the show. Absolutely no difference at all. It's just I got to sell a few more.
Well, the energy, the enthusiasm, Kieran, that you're going to take into this, it sounds infectious. It sounds like something you've really got your teeth into. I believe moving into 2023, these plans for a couple of other shows already.
Yep, we're lining up a few different venues, all in my hometown, which is massive for me as well. Massive about the community. I run a boxing club here. I want to bring boxing here permanently, and it's starting to be a bit more of a staple of the town. And yeah, I think it's not just me wanting to do it. It's a coincidence that there's fantastic places to have boxing here. This town, the Market Hall, where we're going to be having this show. The last show that was there, last title that was there was a Welsh title. Before that was a British title. Randy Turpin's fought there. Eddie Thomas, sorry. Massive names of the past. And it can all happen again. We use the Vale Centre in Cardiff, Vale Arena in Cardiff, which is a great arena, nice and big, but it's in the middle of nowhere almost. This is the centre of the town. You've got everything around you. We could do a lot for the community here with bringing people to stay, the nightlife, the sporting aspect of it. Some of these kids will see these posters around and they want to pick up a pair of gloves. Do you know what I mean? And it's not just because there's an handsome man on it. It's only positives, I think. Look.
Absolutely, Kieran. Well, we wish you the best of luck with it. Fingers crossed, SimBoxx will be down at a couple of these shows. And thank you for your time, sir. Wish you the very best of luck with everything moving forward. Best of luck with the fight, and we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you, Luke.